Hi, I'm Regina. I'm an alcoholic. I'm an alumni here at Valley Spring. I finished up the program here at the end of May in 2025. I spent 6.5 months in this program. I went through PHP, IOP, and OP. I'm just here to share some positive feedback about the program. First, I'd like to say that Valley Spring has had a major impact on my life. I knew that rehab alone wasn't going to be sufficient for my success. I actually initially was going to come in here just straight into IOP, but upon assessment, they believed that PHP might be a better start for me. I had a lot of unraveling to do. During my time in PHP, I pretty much started sharing my life experiences for the first time, from a very young age. So not only am I in recovery for alcohol and, substance abuse, like I'm in recovery for my mental health and wellness, period. But PHP was beneficial. Again, like I said, it allowed me to start opening my mouth and sharing, because I came in here very shy, very nervous, very worried, very afraid of what everybody thought. But once I transitioned over to IOP, I did the 5 days a week, mornings. I eventually switched to nights, but IOP is where I really started opening my eyes and realizing that I matter and that I can make decisions for myself that will benefit me. I did have a lot of doubts, but with my counselor and the sessions that we had, I got a lot of input to reaffirm that I am very capable of making my own choices in life. At about 4 months of sobriety, I had been going, to IOP probably down to 3 days a week, but for a long time, I was sharing what I needed to do, what I wanted to do, what I should do, when I was in PHP. But IOP is when I was like, I'm going to do, I'm going to achieve, I'm going to, even though I had a lot of self-doubt left, a lot of big decisions made on my own were really due to the support here. Specifically, even getting a job. I hadn't worked for 6 years and I was worried about getting a job, and I was telling everybody up here that, oh, well, I could get this grocery store job, but I'm afraid to do it because I'm worried about what people are going to think if they see me, that people like in the neighborhood, because I was going to work, looking to work locally, with the help here. They're like, don't worry about, where you start, just start developing a routine. So that's when I really pushed myself and I started putting out job applications. I resisted for a little while, but IOP really got me to think about, oh, let's start working. So I pretty much activated my motion. I got a job, and then another thing that kept surfacing over and over every day here was my need and want to leave my spouse, to, keep myself safer, and, I needed to change my environment in order to stay sober. So with the help of my counselor and everybody here, I really started to believe in myself. So I was like, you know what? It's time, to face the music. It's time to take some action. So from there on, I started creating a lot of goals. I had that conversation. It was a very scary conversation. It didn't happen right away, but I had chosen to move out of my home into sober living because I was just so afraid that, as this program was winding down, that I wasn't going to be able to transition smoothly. So what I learned here is, like I said, change your environment, start networking, get involved with things that help your sobriety. So I started making those moves. And like I said, that caused me to start setting up a lot of goals. And every goal that I set, I set it, not so strictly, but I set it to have something to reach for. And without the help here, I don't think I would have started reaching for these opportunities of growth and development in my sobriety.
What's a specific moment or breakthrough during your time at Valley Spring that changed your perspective on recovery?
There were a lot of breakthroughs here, to be honest, so it's really hard for me to pinpoint. So a breakthrough I had, even in PHP, if I could go back a little bit, PHP, like a breakthrough was opening my mouth. That was like one of the breakthroughs, and that was a big deal for me. It's a very, it seems small to some people, but it was like huge, because I used to walk in here with my hood on. I would be like disheveled. I just was uncomfortable in my own skin. I didn't know what to do. But one day, and I don't know exactly when that day was, but one day I shared and I got really emotional. And then once that, like, everything came out of me, I felt like I just released my soul and freed my will to, I pretty much gave up to the program. And, I just started suddenly being really involved. I would always share. I wouldn't like hold back. Like, I think holding back would have defeated my purpose of being here. But yeah, when I started like unraveling here, that was a big breakthrough for me. And believing in recovery, and hearing stories about other people in recovery, really helped me. So like, it's a simple one, but it means a lot. Just like starting the communication wheel and starting to trust. Like, I started to trust this program. I started to believe, that as long as I work with it, I can't lose.
What would you tell someone who is considering Valley Spring Recovery Center for their recovery journey? You can look at me if you're more comfortable.
Thank you. I would definitely say, give it a chance. Don't resist it. Get into it. Use your tools. I've done some alumni events with you guys, and I've shared my message a little bit, and I reiterated the importance of accepting help, talking to your counselor, actually investing in the program with your soul. For me, like, my life changed here, and if you stick with this program and you go through the steps of recovery here at Valley Spring, like, you will have success. There may be small failures along the way, but that's part of growing. But this is really like amazing place. Like, I felt so comfortable here, and you will too if you just give yourself a chance. We're all worth it, and you just gotta, be involved. Share your story, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to share. Just really, I couldn't ask for a better place to come for recovery. This place really did save my life, and it could save your life too.
What does thriving in recovery mean to you today, and how has Valley Spring helped you get there?
Valley Spring was the start of my willingness to succeed. I am fully invested in thriving in my recovery right now. I listened, I started going to meetings regularly. Valley Spring really showed me what I can do outside of these rooms, because initially I was very scared when I was transitioning out of this program. But right now I'm very involved with AA. Like I said, I've done or been involved and communicated with alumni here, and I plan on, if the availability comes up, committing my efforts back here to Valley Spring, which I don't owe them anything, but I have a lot of gratitude for this place. But I've taken on commitments outside of here, just like making coffee and greeting at AA meetings. Like, that was like huge for me, because I couldn't even communicate to people beforehand. So now I'm out there communicating, doing out speaks, running a 12-step meeting, sharing my story, because I know that it's a form of gratitude, but I also like to express the raw feelings that I have. Like, I don't even think about what I'm going to share with people now, and it's really rewarding to have people come up and hug you and say, thank you so much. I really appreciated what you had to say. And I'm trying to continue finding other ways to be involved in like recovery. I have spoken at my rehab more than once. Prior to coming to Valley Spring, I had gone to rehab, so I've actually done 2 speaking commitments there as well. Not only that, like, I have the best paying job I've had in my life ever now. I didn't work for a long time before I got into recovery, but like, now I'm you know, moving myself in a position where I never thought I'd ever be, you know, and, you know, thrive also means to me like, you know, not even just getting a better job, but like, I just got my first apartment, the first thing I ever did on my own without help from other people. And to do that in recovery, that's huge for me. You know, I reached a lot of goals that I had, you know, through this program, but I've already started setting some new goals for me, you know, to better my wellness. I'm actually going to be continuing therapy, you know, to reinforce the skills I learned here. I just feel like, you know, it's a refresher for me, to remind me, you know, how much work I've done and to, you know, process little odds and ends that maybe I still need to work on. But thriving is being willing to be involved positively with anything in life. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's good. No, thank you. We're all good.
I was a little nervous. Like, it's not like, I know I could talk to you about anything, but it's just,